All right, so this is another video I'm making. I'm gonna call the Black Girl Part 2. These people have truly tried to really make me accept this thing. They're really doing their best to to try to intimidate me, manipulate me, stimulate me, and repeat to the point where they want me to accept this. Now they say like they've proved that there's too much. Like, listen, it's obvious that they do this type of torture. At this point, if you delude yourself that this is not something they do, you are obviously trying to, you're just definitely dumbing yourself down. You tell me that almost all target individuals are forced to see child porn. Women are saying they're forced to, like, I can go back and bring up like things that will just make you understand that obviously there's a sense of, there's a pattern of torment. There's a real pattern, not a manipulation, not a stimulation, not a pattern that they do this peripheral type of torture. With me, what they're trying to do is say that when I was a kid, and I'm gonna give you like an idea of how young of a kid around, right? As like somebody around this young, right? Um, and that's just gonna show this, why what this what I'm talking about. You see that that how young I was. Imagine saying, "Do you know what you're experiencing today? We matched it to you around this age, right? And you're in your 30s, and the people who are saying that to you, obviously, have been having a pattern of just doing the same stuff to people, where they stimulate them in a pedophilia ways to break them down, using the libido to break them. But they're saying, listen, this is you, what you experience when you are a child. It's you when you were a child. And this is specifically black little girl. Because when you were this young, they're saying that you had that stimulation toward black girls, black little girls. Now, I know it's not true. I know it's falsified. But to add to everything, sometimes what they do is they make me feel a certain way. Is sometimes they do this towards certain black little girl, like, but not others. And I know what they're doing. It's them controlling me. I know they can do. And what they try to do is like, how are we able to do this toward those little black girls, but not these ones, not these little chubby ones, but this little skinny one, this one with this hair or this. So disgusting. And they want me to try to like ask them, like figure out why they're able to do this like this, no, but not this little. Why are they them able to do this, stimulate you like this toward this, but not this? First of all, they can do with anything, anybody. However, they can do that with any child, anytime, whenever. But they want you to be like, see, because this is true. This kind of true. Like when you were kids, remember? And then to try to make me accept these things. Of course, I know this is what they make me feel. I don't feel this. Naturally, I will not feel any of that. To the point where they even do it to people when in real time I wasn't feeling it. And I'm talking about to little kids. When I saw them at the time, I didn't feel none of it. But now with this new thing in my brain, they can make me feel in this way. And they like to say like, no, it's so nasty. And it's because they try to say I did something stupid as a kid, right around that age. So stupid, the damn kid that did something to himself. And they're trying to say, oh, you see, that, and try to make me think of this. and say, you see that that's that's why. You're like, no, no, it's just idiotic. And first of all, they try to exaggerate. I did something to myself. I was a stupid kid that just was in impulsive, and they try to exaggerate. And they tried to make me think of this little black girl with it. It's just so nasty. And earlier they tried to make me think of another black girl, a little chubbier. And they do these things because they want you to be like, oh my gosh, it is true. There's something. Why am I feeling this like this, but not like that? Or trust, they can do that for both. They're doing this because they want you to be like, oh, maybe yes, maybe when I was like, yeah, yeah, when like, yeah, it's falsified, disgusting, and they're forcing me right now to just get these things. That's disgusting. That they force me to have. And it's not even like why you feel like that. It's why we can manipulate you to feel this way. Do you understand the logic of these people? Why are we able to manipulate your mind this way? Why are we able to do things to your brain toward this kid like this? And to them, this is logical. And they truly want you to sit there. It's like, oh, why can you do it with this kid, but not with that kid? Oh, maybe this is, but these people are just literally doing this to you. So none of this will happen if they weren't doing anything to you. But they're like, no, but we match that to when you were a kid. Like, why would you, first of all, match that with me as a kid? I'm not a kid, I'm a grown man. But at the same time, this is not true. This is not the stimulation I have. You're forcing me to have the stimulation now. Give me this weird, intense feelings and try to make it seem like this is the feeling I was felt when I was as a kid. No, that's falsified. And two, I'm a 30 something. Can you imagine, say, you're a grown man or woman, right? And they have no shame to say, no, 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 no. Around this age, you're feeling that. You are fully a 30 some plus person. 30 some plus person. And now you're like, and they try like to really now we dared. These people do the peripheral type of torture. And they try to find ways for me to subscribe to it. I will never subscribe to this. Till my last breath. These people are sorry, I don't want to curse. These people are gaslighting you into a level of veracity that is unbelievable. And then they try to talk in this menacing way. They're gonna do this, and I don't want to curse, but they say they go, something's gonna happen to you, and you're like, you have no shame. First of all, I know you're doing the peripheral type of torture. Two, one, two, you are obviously making no sense. Do you think I'm a 30-some-year-old man? You think I'm gonna be like, no, this is me when I was a kid? And they like try to talk about me as a kid. I know what you guys do to kids. I know. I can pull this right now. As I'm saying that, immediately like kill yourself or you're nothing. It's like, yes, I get it. You don't like that. It's the same thing, but the same thing needs to be reminded because these people want you to subscribe to this nonsensical. I know what they do to children. I'm not going to subscribe to these things. As I'm saying that, they're like, oh, we're lying. Oof. I don't care about they try to they think that at this point is just too much. This in my mind is like it's just there's too much validation. For example, they would also sometimes make her bite her hand, that's threatening to make me bite my hands, as they often do. One day she had a large, severe bite mark on her arm. She has also grabbed her crotch, saying "ow," and this was used to threaten me with severe sexual torture. One day I also observed her gasping for air a few times in the same way that I do when I am being more severely suffocated. The suffocation had been in a mild state for a while up until this point. Many of their torture methods are cyclical in severity. Right after I saw this child being suffocated, 7-year-old, then I began to experience very extreme suffocation all day, every day. This more sexual torture towards these children. Now they are trying to get you to accept the pedophilia things they do to people, and then they try to bring back what you did as a kid, as a child. Wow, and making me like, oh, now you're gonna pay for that. Do you understand that in this program? Like this goes on, and the torture of these kids it goes on. Like it's fake for what you've done when you were in middle school. They do these things to children. This is a story of she's saying what's happening to a child. Well, now in my brain, a 30-some-year-old man, they want me to be like, oh, so how are we able to do this to this kid, but not this kid? First of all, they do it to all the kids, okay? All of them. All the little, they try to do all the little kids. It's just all the time. It's non-stop. It's non-stop. Especially all the little girls. Oh, disgusting. So disgusting. I mean, it's just disgusting. They've just changed it, and they're going to my memories and going putting stimulation and things. It's just non-stop. It's been so disgusting to having to have this in my head going like it's just disgusting. Little babies, just little toddler running around and just force me to look at. It's so disturbing, but it goes with what they've been doing. If this woman, and I'm gonna continuously put the same thing. It's just I'm not gonna let them. My point is, these people will have to dumb themselves down to a point of no return.
People, I don't even know if they're, I don't know what the fuck they are. Take this whole thing into account so much and make it so dramatic. It is dramatic. It's somebody trying to end my life. It's somebody trying to end who I am as a person. It's somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophilia. Like, this disgusting, disgusting, disgusting things. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through my parents. I don't know. I don't care. I just don't want it. I don't want it in my life.
So is it just random that this person says they try to change her mind into these pedophilia ways, and she doesn't know how it's happening, but if there's neighbors, right? I keep talking about neighbors, people around her sh- doing things, shooting like how much like obviousness that this is a thing that they do with pedophilia.
Torture report disclosed the disgusting revelations that in the secret torture prisons, the targets were forced to perform homosexual acts on each other against their will and religion in order not to be beaten or killed. This is a common breakdown tactic of belief systems and the human will. In no-touch torture, the techniques are more psychologically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds, and vice versa is.
Almost all target individuals are forced to see child pornography in their mind. 2 seconds ago, they were trying to do the same gaslighting tactic they do all the time. Like, I was trying to figure it out. My brain went somewhere else. They're like, oh, you see, that's what they do non-stop. But almost all target individuals, as you hear the bikers trying to like sound like they're not doing the pedophile type of torture, almost all target individuals are forced to experience these nasty things that they do. And they try to intimidate you into thinking, no, not you're the different one. They proved it. Like they say, no, we proved it. You know how like close to idiocy you have to be, and in their mind, they're like making me imagine this little black girl. Some of this little, it's the kids. I was able to be normal and see them normally, and now turn into something else. They're nasty, and they try to get you to like be like, oh yeah, you're right because you can do this to me toward this kid, but not this kid. So that means that Oh, because with this kid, you're matching it. This kid, like, this is so stupid. And they're like, they're gonna get you. They're gonna look. Listen, I'd rather die, but I'll never subscribe to these things. No matter what gaslighting, what intimidation, what noise campaign, I will never subscribe. I will never. So to all my target individual, I'm gonna call this black girl part two, because as they do the manipulation, they even ask you how are we able to manipulate for those specific kids but not the others, and try to play with your mind and try to make you be doubtful of it. While I was actually doing this thing, they did this thing. I just made a video earlier about how they can gaslight you because they want you to start blaming them for something they didn't do, and because your brain is already like a top. They obviously manipulate a lot of the devices. You already have like an idea that they can manipulate your things. So when things looks a little off, you're like, are they doing something? And then when they don't do it, or when it looks like they don't do it, they're like, oh, they didn't do it. Then they try to make it hard for me. When it looks like they didn't do this thing on your phone or something, that like you see this pedophilia type of thing is you, this black little girl is you. We're lying. We're lying. Of course they're lying. They do the pedophilia type of torture for sure, and they do manipulate my devices. But what they do for sure, 24/7, non-stop, is this nasty pedophilia type of tormenting. That's what they do. And they want you to be doubtful for it. They are not what they present themselves as. 1 second they were saying, oh, this is our country, right? Because they try to make it seem like it was immigration. I'm like, okay, first of all, I know there's a bunch of American citizens right now being fried up and tortured they leave the country hoping and thinking that it's gonna be better, finding out it's worse. They then try to play the feminists, like we are this group of people protecting the neighborhood, the community. You have to pay for it, and then you find out these people are torturing children and women. They are in a program that does horrible things to children and women. These people doing this to you, and try to be like, oh, no, this, and then they try to go into things like you raped a child or some BS, disgusting things, and with no shame. No, you're an opportunist. I'm not subscribing to this nastiness. I know what you guys are doing, and I know you're manipulating my thoughts. I know you make me experience these things. You're disgusting craps, and you're gonna get, you're gonna be reimbursed. Now, I'm not worried about that. You're not the people who are in charge of architecting these things. You're just the bottom feeder in here. I don't want to. I don't want to. You know, insult them, but they're not the people in charge. But these people are doing nasty things to me, and they keep telling me you're gonna be cut up in pieces. You're gonna be in pieces. Because I'm like, oh, rest in pieces, as in like you're gonna be in pieces. Like, listen, I don't care how I rest in one piece, in many pieces. I don't care as long as I didn't live life doing what you do. Cowardness, nastiness, disgustingness, pedophilia things, and this tormenting people and in this nasty ways, and try to make somebody accept somebody like low lifeness too. And then you don't even have much to show for it. So you basically sold your soul for not much, and it wasn't free because they got your soul. You trash. And these people were trying to play the feminists, were trying to play the Avengers, the humiliations. And they like to say it's fate. You know what? It truly is fate. As they were trying to make me accept this nastiness, I got the chance to see and hear the testimonies of all the things they've done to people, all the nasty, horrible things. I got to hear about this BuzzFeed article that shows how nasty and disgusting these people are, showing there's been patterns of pedophilia for decades. Things that's horrible as people doing things to 2-year-old and 6-year-old agents. DARPA program managers downloading child porn on their government devices. This is the people who really work on this device, on this technology. These people are filled with pedophiles, and they try to say, no, we've matched it. Us, who've been letting pedophiles work. letting pedophile work in these agencies. A lot of pedophiles, right? And these people have done so much investigating that they have seen something in my brain when I was this young that they say that's what's happening because their investigation is so deep and they're not doing the pedophilia type of tormenting. It's trash. And they're like, oh, it's so wrong. No, trash, you're so foul. That's what you are. Just a bunch of shit that a bunch of trash that's trying to make you subscribe and try to gaslight you and agitate you by saying things just random. I don't care what you feel. I don't care if these people feel guilty for what they're doing. I don't care about that. It doesn't faze me. But I do care about them creating that fantasy they put together. I'm not gonna let them do that. I'm not. That's one thing I refuse to have them. They will not live their fantasy. You are part of this program. You, the black little girl, see this and try to make me subscribe to these things. And so, oh, they use some, like they use this mean sounding voice. We'll do this, you know. It's like, no, no, they are. We investigated these people who are feeling pedophiles. That people, they done no child porn on their own government device. It's not even like they're not even trying to. It's as easy as just going on their computer devices that is given by the government. I was this fate that this was out when I was in this program, so I can see who's talking to me. These special investigators. If you look at them, you'll see her. So be strong and don't subscribe to it. This technology is amazing, but they're not here to tell you who you are. They're trying to tell you who they want you to be. And they're gonna gaslight you and they're gonna try to make you believe that you're wrong and you should subscribe, but all kind of matters and it makes no sense. So as I'm breaking down, I rather die like this, saying this these last words than live like that. Death comes to all of us. They're gonna get theirs one way or another. We'll see how it goes with them. I don't care how it goes for them. I truly see them for what they are. It doesn't. They don't fade me. Like they don't phase me. Like I see them as just like you just sold your soul. Like I could have been you. I could have like. Thank God I didn't even have the option to do what you do. Thank God. That's a blessing. Thank you God that I didn't even have the chance to do these nasty things that you're doing. Because you look at them at first like I would never do it. I could never do it. And then you see like, what if everybody around you is doing it? What if these things is presented to you when you're younger? Like they could have been. I'm just so thankful that this thing, this I didn't get into this world. That's too much, too nasty. You know how little it would take for me to break down in my life, knowing that I involved myself in this trash. I rather die and fall like this than live the way they live and stand on this nastiness that they stand on. Trashiness. They're trash. So be strong. Don't subscribe to any of that. And this is what I call black. This video I call it Black Girl Part Two because they're then trying to do these things where you see this black little girl and you're not feeling anything. You're just like nastiness. So stay strong. Okay.